West Parade and Beaumont Fee North, one of the character areas of Lincoln. At the meeting point of three city centre roads, Beaumont Fee passes through it north to south, and from east to west it's traversed by West Parade and Motherby Lane. The area lies on the lower slopes of the North Escarpment, which rises to the north. Gently for the most part, though above Motherby Lane the ground starts to rise steeply. The entire area is located just inside the former Western Roman defences of the lower city. The park, in the west of the area, lies just inside the line of the former Roman lower city wall. Like Park Street, it is named after Beeson Park, a raised walkway along the ruins and bank of the old Roman wall, which was used in the 18th century, and probably earlier, for recreation. There may have been a gateway at the north end of the park, through which ran a road roughly on the modern alignment of West Parade. Almost all the buildings you see here date to a narrow time band, stretching from the late Victorian to the Edwardian period. So much so that the few which fall outside this bracket really stand out. Beaumont Manor was built in around 1840 as a large detached residence. Beaumont Lodge, which was built later, also survives immediately to the north. When originally built, the manor stood in large grounds which stretched outside the character area. Much of the surrounding land, including the east side of Beaumont Fee, consisted of open fields. The group of three cottages at the west end of Motherby Lane predates the manor itself. You can see that they come from a different era than most of the surrounding buildings. Look at the yellowy grey brick and pantile roofs, not to mention how plain they are in comparison to other houses. The windows are smaller and more horizontal too. However, in 1884, West Parade was constructed, a key element in the large-scale expansion of Lincoln during the prosperous industrial times of the Victorian period. That's when, and why, the area began to change and develop in earnest. Numbers 10 to 22 West Parade date from 1884, the very year of the new road. And from the same year, a new terrace of houses on the west side of Hungate. Compared to those cottages we saw earlier, new houses which began to go up from the 1880s were very much more ambitious and eye-catching, reflecting the great period of growth and prosperity the city was experiencing in the late 19th century. However, there's great homogeneity here. The terraced houses are mainly of 2 or 3 stories in height and 2 bays wide. Local red Albion bricks are the usual building material. Roofs are of slate and commonly have their ridge lines running parallel to the street, though some slate has been replaced with asbestos. Most windows have stone lintels, whether moulded or plain, and vertically sliding wooden sashes, usually with a single glazing bar. Bay windows are common, whether of brick or of wood. These houses were constructed in groups that share certain decorative elements and building materials. It was an early form of building en masse. We do the same today, but on a much larger scale. The groups, or build units, use the same materials from house to house. The same is true of decorative elements. Looking at eaves can be instructive. And so are doorways, as well as gable ends facing the street. And you can easily work out where one build unit ends and another begins. The sloping streets in the area serve to emphasise the repetitive character of many houses. The rising or falling roof lines often produce a stepped effect, characteristic of the area. On the eastern section of West Parade, the south side, Some purpose-built shops date from around 1900, but most of these houses were built for family occupation. Many are now offices, and a few have become shops, for this is a transitional area between the city to the east and the more residential inner suburbs to the west. Only two 20th century buildings exist here. The Tap and Spile pub was built in 1920, replacing an earlier hostelry. It occupies a prominent corner position, and, as often with public houses, its architectural language is deliberately unlike anything else in the area. The Age Concern building on Park Street dates from the 1970s, and its horizontal lines, rendered panels and large plastic windows are again quite different from the rest of the area. This video is one of a series exploring the sense of place of the many distinctive areas of the City of Lincoln. Explore the Heritage Connect website to find out more about this or other areas of the city. As well as many videos, you'll find a huge amount of further information there. But best of all, wherever you are, keep your eyes open for more clues to the city's fascinating history.